Hello, all, and welcome. Today, we are here back in Cisco Packet Tracer Lab, and our purpose is to configure DHCP, which stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. It's a protocol, and its purpose is to assign IP addresses to machines dynamically or automatically. At least that's what we're going to do here today. We won't, or we could possibly do one static address. That'd be okay too. But the purpose, again, is to give an IP address to a machine that connects to your network. And the functionality, or to enable that function of DHCP via your firewall, would be port 68, 67 and 68. And here we have our private IP address classes A, B, and C. I like C. We're gonna stick with the class C. Private IP address scheme. So without further ado, let's go ahead and grab ourselves a server. Servers have the functionality. Even some PCs also have the functionality of DHCP. It just has to be enabled. And we're going to need a switch because we're going to use two computers. And let's go ahead and grab those. Great. So the next thing we need to do is connect these devices. Let's go ahead and grab this link or this cable, switch to the server, and then we're gonna use the next ports. It'll probably be 1 and 2 for PC1 or 0 here and PC1. Oh, nope, it's 0 and 2. Going to the 0 port on this PC, and then 03 for 0 on PC1. Okay, great. So what we need to do next is we need to go into the server here. And then we need to go ahead and assign our IP address. And we're choosing the class C 192.168 private IP address scheme. And we choose this as the first address, .0.1. And the default gateway we're going to choose as .0.0 from the 192.168 scheme. Then we need to go ahead and enable. Let's make this a little larger here. We're going to go ahead and enable DHCP. And we're going to put that same default gateway here for that private IP addressing scheme of 192.168.0.0. And our first address, we want it to be actually this machine. Okay. Now what we need to do is go to our PCs and we have an opportunity here. We're going to configure one static, but first I want to just show the DHCP functionality now that the server has its IP addressing scheme. And great, so we got a DHCP request successful. That just means the server here that we enabled the functionality of Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol does indeed have the function running, or the protocol running. And now what I'm going to do is I want to ping the server. Let's go ahead and actually give it the IP address that's assigned to it here, just for a description. And the same here for this one, PC0. And this could float on PC0 because it's dynamically assigned. It isn't statically assigned. But what I want to show is how we can ping from the .0.2 to the .0.1 IP addressing scheme. from the PC. So let's go ahead and ping the server and test its reachability. And we get in our replies, which means it's successful here. We have 0 packet loss, so that's great. So what I want to do is statically configure an address for the PC1, which means no matter what, when this server issues an IP address dynamically to this device, it'll carry the same IP. Let's go ahead and configure that statically. Oh, but before that, let's take a look here at this server and its IP address and schemes or ranges that it has to address. Here it is. So there it is. So basically here under services and the DHCP functionality, we have the starting IP address 192.168.0.1, which belongs to the server, and 255 number of usable hosts available under this IP address. So effectively what we could do is assign 192.168.2. Well, that one's assigned to this PC dynamically, but we could do .3, .4, .5, all the way up to 255, 192.168.0.255, which would mean in this IP address and scheme or in this company or organization, they'd have 255 usable addresses. Had this been a 10.0.0.0 class IP, private IP address and scheme, they'd have way more usable hosts, just because each of these octets would add on to the power of Y more IP addresses. So let's go ahead and assign this PC its static address of 192.168.0.3. And it's going to automatically put a /24 subnet mask, which is 255.255.255.0. Now let's go ahead as well from PC1 or the second PC, and let's ping. How about let's ping PC0 over here right next to it, and then we'll ping the server. Okay, that's awesome. And next we'll go ahead and ping the server. Okay, great. So effectively what we've done here is we've configured a static IP address, which means in any circumstance, no matter what, if the DHCP server was to fail and come back online, or if there was any sort of maintenance that needed to be done, and this particular device, it could be a printer, it could be a specific PC with specific functionality, no matter what, it's always going to get that same IP address now that it's configured statically here as the 192.168.0.3. Now, just for test purposes, we go ahead and configure we'll select the dynamic host configuration protocol. This IP may change, but it'll still stay within the 192.168.0.3 scheme. Yep. So even though we enabled the DHCP functionality protocol, and we had a static one, it still chose the .0.3 because it's more than likely just the next available address here to be assigned by the server. So very good. Thank you. If there's any questions or you see any places where I could use some improvement, please let me know. Share, like, and until then.